All right, guys. This time I'm operating from Tallinn. I hope you can hear me all right. I will just check the mics and so. Um, yeah, everything should be all right. Uh, Now, as I usually do, I work with what I have. And today, what I want to do is a few simple attack drills. And now I have bags here. So I have opponent here, I have opponent here, and I have even a third opponent, but that's pretty far away. So thinking of using kicking and punching against like two opponents. So thinking that now I have one opponent here, I have one opponent here. What I should every time do is try to prevent myself from being in the middle. But of course, it might be your starting point. But just basic punching and kicking drills action. So if I start with the back here, thinking that, hey, any sort of non-violent posture, maybe I'll be working with my right side forward, so it's easier for you to see. But thinking that, okay, the person came up to me and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? I have my hands close to my body. I try not to keep them here because I'm blocking my vision, even though I might have a tendency of bringing the hands up here. I myself, I don't find it very useful because I cannot be very, very fast from here. And if I raise my hands up here, I am raising myself. And now I don't have what it takes to make any sort of fast motions and movements from my body. So that's why bringing the hands a bit closer here, you can see from the side waist position, instead of keeping them here. And now, as I start to make a defense from here, if the person tries to use slug or something like that, what's that in US? It's like a haymaker punch, people punching like this. So the idea of me defending that, and now it should be coming from this side, but if it's coming from this side, so let's say that we're here. Now, the thing is that, okay, I'm flinching, I'm driving in, right? So now I can start from here. Now figuring out that, okay, that's where the attack is coming from. And I'm like, okay, ducking down, getting down here, moving in with my knee, and moving to the other side. Now I can either continue rotating over there, or I can start coming in from here. So thinking of this, moving and hitting. And again, the same thing. From here, rotating. Now with this liquid ball, it's just very, very nice equipment to have. I can do basically the same thing. Now this doesn't have the lower part, as you can see. So the knee kick, I need to just get in there. But the idea of me launching in, kicking, moving, and hitting. All right. So if I don't have any equipment, it doesn't matter. Now thinking that what was I doing? From this position, I was shooting my hands out. So doing a defense like this. From here, duck your head in, like this. Move your hands out, move in, and pull. Because once you're hitting person to the lower body, whether you hit the groin or you hit their size here, what is happening is that the person is moving backwards like this, and they are offering their head forward. And that's where I'm going to pull. All right? So the idea of being here, and now as I am kicking, I am at the same time I'm pulling. So using a hand motion like this, a lot like release from a choke hold or moving the person's hands away, just using the hooking defense or blocking defense. Dear child, many names, you know the drill, okay? So now, practice this. Think of doing this motion. Think of doing this. Hands from here. This one hitting the neck area here. So the idea is that your elbow will be in front of the person's jaw as you are punching backwards. So thinking that now, if the person's throat is here in the middle, what is happening is that your elbow should be in the center of the person. And once your hand is doing this, then you are making the person go backwards, okay? The other hand is defending. Now, if it happens so that the person does this and this to you, so there is like, and the direction changes. They start by doing this and the direction changes. What happens is that we started going here and now your hand will come down. All right? I will send you the links to these specific videos in defenses when we're doing this. But the idea is that, okay, I started defending, whoops, it comes down here. Now you're circling, and your knees and hands are doing exactly the same thing. How do we get to go forward and not go backwards? And that is the nonviolent posture we are working on here. Okay? And it happens that if I am like this, and there comes the punch towards my face, this is what's going to happen. Okay? So, if you are working in an upright position like this, if you are working in an upright position like this, your flinching motion, your reaction will be going backwards. And we don't want that to happen, okay? So that's why what we do here is that once I get my hands closer, what I also do, I tuck my stomach in. So I'm worried here, hey, I don't want any trouble, or hey, what's the problem? It's even more, what's the problem? This and that and so. Okay, I'm sorry that's the problem. I did not cause the problem. And yeah, you did, yeah, you did. Okay, tell me, how did I cause the trouble? How did I cause the problem? And this is a little bit about the verbal de-escalation, but let's not get there too much. But instead of here, let's be here. Because from here, if something suddenly happens, what my body wants to do is this. And now, once my head tucks in here, now it's gonna be a lot easier to go with hands forward, enter. All right. Now, as I have the wrestling mattress here, the surface is very challenging. And sometimes the surface is, so you learn how to move your feet better. All right. But the idea of the attack series that we're doing now is that you start from here. Okay, now comes a go and try and move. All right, do it again. So from here, stride, then move. And just keep on working with that, okay? All right, just keep on working with that. I will check what is causing the noise here. All right, few more times. De-escalating, okay? Sorry for the trouble. I don't know what caused it. It wasn't me. And then comes the punch, the person coming towards you, and you're like, hey, take it easy. And if not, move in and make your move. Now, against the attack that comes in a motion of this and this. So the person starts punching and then they change the direction. So thinking that I'm punching here and I change the direction. There might be something in their hand that we did not see. They might be like this. And of course, always be wary of the hand you cannot see. Just have your vision in their chest, stomach area. Because then, now if it comes from that direction, it's easy for me to show. Thinking that now it started from here and now it's getting there. But from a body position like this, the change in defense from here to here, it's not very hard to do. It comes very, very naturally. Once you start doing this and this, this and this. From here, you were doing this, and now you need to change the hand position to here. So directing outside, and then you will be grabbing. I'm just checking if I have an equipment here that I could use. Let me check. Okay, so thinking of this coming to here, this rotating to here. So from here to here, here to here, this to this. So coming from here, and this is exactly the motion that you will be doing. Okay, so you started here and now it changed, and you just redirect your hand. That's all you actually need to do. Now, if the distance, seeing doing this, kick, move, or this, kick, and move. Now, if you have the person's hand here, you will be causing them to go like this. You are actually causing their shoulder to lock and eventually break when you make like a 180 degrees circle with it in a very, very fast and or fast. It doesn't have to be very fast, but fast and sort of like very small circle. So not a big circle, but thinking that the person's hand is here you are circling like this. So we are here, and now if the person's hand is here, thinking this being the shoulder, and you do this, the shoulder is pointing downwards, and then all you need to do is ram it down. Not very hard thing to do. Now, if the distance is a bit further away, it's still there. Now, if they start to come with a haymaker, we're here. But now, the thing is that I can also use my leg in a stomping kick motion. And the stomping kick motion I will show you with this leg. So I'm played it in a little bit different. But the idea of this kick, and now your aim is around the person's knees. You will get them moving backwards. That's what's going to happen. So kids are going to get away. It's like one kick and off you go. Now, if need be, you can continue attacking, of course, because once the person's knees go backwards, what happens to their head is that the head will come a bit lower. And now the drill is to kick and strike, okay? So, to kick, pull it back, strike. That's one side, just one side. So if I am now kicking with my left leg, I am striking with my left fist or even left forearm, or if I'm going very much in, maybe even the left elbow. But the punch is going directly forward, whereas I'm going diagonally beside the person. So now, in the first session, it was here. So we were doing a defense immediately, and then a kick and turn. Now, we're a bit further away. So now as the person starts coming in, we do the kick and move out. All right? So if I'm now moving on that side, so now I'm using my right hand, right leg. So to kick and move. The hardest part to get this technique and movement to go to your brain is understanding about the balance. So once you do this and you bring it back, now it's time to go. So you can make an exercise of kicking, pulling, hitting. So hit, bring it back, and hit. And now some find it hard to move this leg. And what part do you move? So once I've done the kick, now as I make like a little hop with this leg. So once I'm here, bam. So once I'm here, my leg had come back. So I made kick. And now just move this leg forward. Once you figure it out, the balance and so, it becomes quite a natural motion because otherwise you will fall down. So from here, so hey, what's the problem? Sorry, I did not cause the problem. No, I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. I was not the person you're talking about. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. I'm gonna kick your ass. That was my cue. I'm gonna kick your ass. That was my cue. No, you're not. Because I beat you to it, literally. All right? Now, disengaging of any collision, fight, or self-defense situation is at least as important as surviving the situation, because if we cannot disengage, we will not survive. All right, so the idea of doing this and doing now, if the person is moving backwards, just take a hike, do something else, and start again. Now, as you're training, if you're training on your own, you have to visualize. You have to visualize the attacker. If it's hard for you, just put some pictures on the wall, look at some video. It doesn't matter what you do for that visualization. Put a person's face on the back. It doesn't matter. Be artistic about it. But to visualize that that person is yelling at you and you're like, okay, all right, instead of, okay, all right. Because now from here, I have very little that I can do. I can do the stomping, hey, don't come here, and then go in, but it's going to be very much harder, all right? So what I want us to be brilliant in is that if the situation comes, so the person comes yelling at you, and you're first like this, okay, sorry, what's the trouble? I did not understand. Okay, please explain. What was the problem? And I am ready to go anytime the person wants. Sorry, I still did not hear you. And then going in and getting out. Very important part. Now, as you saw me shooting my hand out first, that is the fingers towards the eyes. And if I hit the eyes, very nice. If not, the person will be flinching upwards and they cannot do anything about this skill. Neither can they do anything about that. So attack drills are very important for the self-defense situations where you don't have a way out, nor were you surprised or ambushed in the situation. The only surprise here is that the person is getting to your face and you're like, okay, hey, sorry, Master, what's the trouble? Please tell me about it. Okay, I did not cause that trouble. I'm sorry, you have a mistaken personality. It was not me. But I am all ready to go. Because now if the person's like, okay, it was you, I'm just gonna, beat you up or something like that. No, don't try to beat me up because you're gonna get hurt. What did you say? I'm gonna beat you up. Right? And if you want to practice the first time, okay, shoot, go in. So those are very easy drills for you to exercise with a back. Now, if you have a partner to train with, then of course they can be your punching bag. They can have the kick pad. Better to have it in their back leg, because now as you're kicking this, it's gonna go flying backwards, and then have some punching pad, target mitts here, because you are going to punch that very hard, and the person is going to go backwards. Now, we were talking about in the beginning about dealing with two opponents. And the tactics with two opponents is that we are not trying to play a drum set of hitting here and staying in the middle. Closest target, closest weapon, right? So now, let's say that there's a corner there. I don't want to go there. And there's a person here that I could use to deal with that person over there. So thinking of something like, okay, guys, what is happening? Looking away and doing this. Now, this is the same cue. This is the same cue that we are looking for in a person who is trying to get to us. So once the person is looking at us like this and hey, you did this, and they're circling their head and something like that, and then they do this, you know that attack is about to happen in the next fraction of a second. Once they do this, this is your cue to attack, okay? But now we can do the same. We can do this. Hey guys, don't do this. I see this person in the corner. Hey guys, don't do this. Get in here. Now the person is probably flying out because once they get punched in the face, the first was the hammer. Hammer coming in like this, moving them here. The second was a straight punch that was coming from the side of their head. So if it was flying here at first and now they get punched here, this is the very, very probable what is going to happen. So don't be surprised and don't stay there. Then just, get away. Now, if the situation is so that my only exit is over there, now I need to think that, all right, who is coming at me? Who can cut my corner from there? Well, this back is closer. This one should be running more. So the idea for me to do now, so that, okay, guys, hey, what is happening? And get out. So first, what I did, I gave this back. I gave a hammer punch. And at the very same time as the hammer punch was there, I gave a side kick and went out. What does this mean? Once I start attacking here, whether I hit the back, the person or not, what happens is that they're going backwards like this. What the other person might be doing, they are trying to reach to us that, hey, what are you doing to my friend? So I'm giving them the blow around below the waist, making them effectively run towards me and be stopped, okay? Now, the punches, what you are practicing is sideways hammer. So from here, thinking that this is happening. This is happening. And while you're doing this, now your side dash back kick will come handy. So once you do this and you are moving out, then it's time to worry about the next phase of the attack. Okay? So do it a few times. So thinking that, okay, that was there and that is here. All right, do it a few times. Keep on working. I'm working myself here also. Okay, now, in a situations where you are put in the middle, you have one opponent here and you have another opponent there. The key thing is that once you understand that you are in this situation, is to blade do this. Now you can see both of them, and then you can go your merry ways in what we were just doing. Or if the exit is over there, you can play it out this way, and now you have one on your side and you have one in front of you. Now thinking that This might be the only cases that I would be backing up and said, hey guys, no trouble here. You are mistaken about the person. I'm not the person you're looking for. And then just getting out. But as you see me exiting, I am not walking backwards like this. I am taking step, hey, look out. So every time I move, I am actually turning my body. So once I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this. What is better with this one, or what I find better with this one, is that if there is an obstacle behind me, now you can see the obstacle behind me. Of course, I can see it also from the camera. But thinking that I'm moving backwards from you, hey guys, I don't want any trouble. Now I failed it. But if I'm going like this, it's very easy for me to trip. But taking a clear step. Okay, now I see that there's an obstacle. Okay, what is happening? So also about communicating in that situation with multiple threat posers or attackers, it's very important for me to make a point that if I am here, these are my threat posers, and I'm like, okay, hey guys, what's happening? And this person is coming close to me, and I'm like, hey, what? And what? Once I'm doing this, I understand that if the person is coming closer to me, I have a chance now to actually put them in one line. So if that person would be moving towards me, I'm like, hey, watch. And now you put them in one line, just like in any good customer service situation that I use as a joke here. Okay? So that's like my movement that I'm doing. Instead of backing up, which comes very natural to us. So, to think about two opponents, if they are sides, now you need to make up your mind whether it's going to be punch, kick out, or whether it's going to be kick, punch, and then move out. It doesn't matter. Now, variate this. I'm making you a few examples now to train on. With this one, what I'm not doing is kicking very high because I want to keep my feet as close to the ground as possible, of course. But if you have like two long backs, like human figures or standing up century box or something like that, then you can most definitely do the exercise like that. But thinking that, okay, kick, punch at the same time, which is very, very similar motion that we were doing with this. Now it's just hit and come. All right. So that's it. So the attack series or combinations we're doing now are hands. So hands going in, knee coming in, your body, and core being in front of the weight of the body being in front all the time. Very important. So not to be like this and then coming up, because I am not delivering any good kicks here. If I'm doing kick like this instead of kick like that, you can very easily spot the difference. All right. I will just turn the camera. Just the hint here. You can see it even better. So the difference between my shoulders going backwards, and my body weight going forward. We need to use what we have. That was the close range. So close range was here, and strike. The further range was from here down and down. And now against two opponents, we were doing from here, hammer, side kick, and out. Now, it's very important to understand that there will be times that I'm not even hitting, but the person might be just, jumping away, but still I have time to exit. That's why it's also important to practice. I did not strike it. It was not there. So it doesn't go like this. Because if it's there now, and now it's not, I am still recoiling the punch. I am bringing it back. I am bringing it back, kicking, and getting out. So very important part of the training is that when you're doing punches, we're not necessarily hitting the target every time, just as a mental note to put it there in the practice. Let's not do it today. Today, we will be commencing a lot of striking and hitting. Now, then there was the combination where we had the back here. So we did the kick and punch. And of course, you can make the kick, punch, and punch. This was the closest weapon. Face was the closest target. So going in here, and then continue the same way. Any questions so far? All right. So, from attack drills point of view, play with the distances. And now, if the distance is so great that you should actually attack with something like a jumping or sliding kick, thinking that I'm coming from here and I'm sliding in. From the self-defense perspective, the situation is usually so that you'd have time to take cover or get away. The only situations that are coming there is that, okay, the person has a weapon, firearm, and you cannot take cover or create distance fast enough. That's about the only situation where you actually need to go in with a sliding kick. A sliding kick meaning that if I start from, let's take this one. If my kick starts from here, you see my toe around the blue swim noodle, and I am ending somewhere here on the red line. That's the sliding kick. And thinking that, hey, after this one, I am moving towards the person and I'm beating them. Now, this becomes very, very powerful weapon, but we have to understand that, hey, from here, there is a high probability of me slipping and falling. All right, but playing with the distances, close range, this, knee, elbow, the mid distance of thumb and short range punches, and then the front kick distance of doing this. And this might be so that the person who is posing the threat is just much taller than you, they have a bigger reach or something like that, and then you are aiming for their knee area or groin area to actually strike them with a front. Now, training the front kick, there are things that you can do to make it very precise. With the back like this, that gives you feedback, it goes backward and comes forward. It's very easy. Because if I'm kicking it wrong, I'm kicking it like this, it doesn't give me any feedback. And using a back like that, you actually give that feedback. Do that, and then continue. Either get away or get in. Very much like we did with the stomping kick. Now it's just gonna come like 1. But those are the ranges. Now, a few things that I'd like you to sort of like, well, people call it muscle memory. Of course, the muscles don't have memory, but the idea is that make an automation of that. So the thing is that, like with front leg, yeah. Because that's the closest reference and closest target there. Then with stomping kick, or even better, shoot to the eyes, stomp and punch. Shoot to the eyes, stomp and punch. And again, shoot to the eyes, stomp and punch. Sorry about that. Shoot to the eyes, shoot to the eyes, stomp and punch. Especially from a little bit closer. Shoot to the eyes, stomp. Okay. Sandra, question. Okay, go. Looks good. Yes. Exactly like that. Exactly like that. Then, the multiple threat posers, multiple attackers. Create your training room so that you have the targets. You are in the middle of them. Move, hit, or strike, get out. And once you make like 10, 20 repetitions of each of these drills, also shoot yourself in a video of doing that, because it gives you a lot of things to look at. And of course, you can send them to me, and then in the single techniques in the Krav Maga coach, you can use to check that, hey, that's something keep coming right, and so on and so on. Okay. Any questions now? All right. So now do the practice and keep on working those drills. Remember, let's just rehearse or remind what we were doing. We started from here, very close to the back. And it was the saying that, hey, sorry, what's the trouble? What's the problem? Not that I don't want any trouble. No, that's not that's sort of like asking for it. It's like, okay, what's the trouble? What's the problem? Sorry, I did not cause that. You have mistaken a person. Or then you took my parking spot. Oh, I'm sorry, I can pull out, you can have it. Okay, whatever is the thing. Okay, you can want. I'm sorry, I didn't notice you. I can pull out and you can have it. Problem solved. But if not, and it goes to the fight, remember to take your pose here. And then you go out, you do your action, and then get away. Now, if it's a fight about a parking spot, not maybe the smartest thing to do, but you know, you never know. It was not your decision. Person was attacking you. You made the defense. Then it was further away, and you were again, sorry. What's the problem? Sorry. Oh, I did not cause it. It must have been somebody else. You're mistaken the person. And also, talk these things out because you are practicing your speaking all the time. So you're visualizing, sorry, I did not know that. And then if the attack comes, you go and you shoot your attack. The third was here. Now, sorry, again, no, it wasn't. I told you, and you shoot out your attack and move away. Then we changed into a two-person game. So we were here, and now the person was like, yeah, what's the trouble? And I hear something behind me, and I'm like, sorry, what? And now I see the other trouble. And then I can go with, hey guys, what's up? What is happening? So taking from here, one, what is happening? Keeping look at that, and what is happening. Now, they understand that I'm more than ready to make it fight, and you can start to see things like, okay, what is happening? And if they start circling you around, you have your attack drills. So then you go into things like this, and then get away. All right, guys. That's it for today. 50 minutes done. And I'll be putting this up later tonight or tomorrow, depending on my network, and sending it over to you. All right, any questions?
No, not really.